My name's Call Y'all. I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahushai, double honors to our elders and apostles who rule Great Millstone Wow, and shalom to all you Akim pushing this truth with sincerity throughout the whole earth. May you brothers endure to the end. Today is the Halish Day, Thanksgiving, when today was actually, it wasn't originally called Thanksgiving. George Washington, I believe, was the one that gave it Thanksgiving. When he put it in the declared it as a day of holiday, he called it a day of thanks and prayer. Okay, but before it used to be called the day of slaughter, feast of slaughter. And what it was when they would go in and slaughter a village of people, they would always have a feast after. Okay, so I'm gonna get some of this history in there, and I'm gonna bring up some scriptures right along with it, so that we could overthrow this so-called white man's kingdom over by exposing his lies through the scriptures, through the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai.
Of the United States. We grew up learning that Columbus discovered America, and that whatever society existed before that was primitive and barbaric. Talk about what native society really looked like at that time.
It was just the opposite. The whole hemisphere was actually ancient in terms of cultural development and population migrations there, unlike the theory of the Bering Strait and of the wandering Neolithic. That's mainly from North America, that settler colonialism wanting to make the native disappear.
But did you hear what she said, Akim? She said that over here the culture was ancient. Okay? Ancient. Why? Because it was actually the Israelites that were over here. The Native American Indians are the tribe of Gad. Down in Mexico, that's Yashashakar. In Florida, you got the Seminole Indians, which are the Reuben tribe of Israel. So they are an ancient people, and the culture is very ancient. All right.
Columbus came first to the Caribbean, which was a swarm of trade routes and interchanges among all those people of the islands. And very few people know that of the 7 designated areas of the beginnings of ancient agricultural civilizations. We know when we grew up, well, Tigris-Euphrates River, of course. That's the one we know best because supposedly that's where Europeans got culture from, a very contested area still.
See, and this lady, she don't have the whole truth. That's why to be able to dissect these videos, you gotta be, I don't even want to call myself mature in the truth, but you gotta have somewhat of an understanding what's true and not. Okay? She's actually trying to say about Israel and the Native American Indians, alright? So, she's putting them together, but she's trying to separate them also. But the children of Israel who came through the desert with Moses are, there's 12 tribes. The Native American Indians would have been one of that tribe. Okay, one of them tribes. So, the Native American Indians are children of Israel. The Seminole Indians are the children of Israel. Alright? They are from Israel. Okay? They migrated over here after the Babylonian captivity by ship.
But we also know about China had two areas of agricultural civilization development, and in North Africa. But the other 3 were in the Americas. One was in the Andes, agricultural civilization. One, central Mexico, Mesoamerica. And the other, the entire eastern half of what is now the United States. So actually they were conquering, when they came to North America, they were conquering an area larger than and richer in agriculture than Europe at the time. So they basically annexed all these things. These civilizations, advanced civilizations, existed when the Europeans came, and they appropriated them. In North.
So she pretty much just said that all this culture and civilization already existed before the so-called white man, the European, so-called European, because honestly what they are Edomites. That's the biblical name of the so-called white man, Edomites. So when they came to the Americas, they were already civilizations here that were of ancient descent. All right? They already knew how to grow food. They already knew how to, harvest the crop. They already knew they had animals. They knew how to build homes. All right? So these so-called white people are fork-tongued liars, okay? When they tell you that Columbus came over here and accidentally stumbled here. No, they knew exactly what they were coming for.
America especially, they have a rewriting of history so that by the time later generations get there, say after the 13 colonies are formed or the United States is independent, those 13 colonies are independent, they see none of that because it's all been appropriated and changed for commercial agriculture. These were civilizations that were expropriated, and the people either made into slaves, because they enslaved Indians first, were the first slaves to be bought and sold on the market and to work in the mines that the Spanish started. Slaves were taken from North America even before the English came to take into the mines in Mexico and Peru. With colonialism displacing people, so they no longer had their food supply, their housing, they're refugees. We see refugees in the world now. They're completely dependent on institutions to take care of them, but the only institution was the colonial, either the Spanish or the Portuguese or the English or the French.
So, just like she said, they had a plan to their doings. Okay, so when they had moved Gad around, the Gad didn't have no food supply. They had to depend on the so-called white man for food. All right, I'm gonna get a script to support that. All right, because that is what they did, and that's what they're doing now. And as soon as there's no more food, they're gonna chip your ass. They're gonna put that RFID chip in your hand, just like you had to bow to the white man to get food back then, to be allowed on the reservation. You're not allowed just to move on the reservation because you say you're Indian. You actually gotta go get stuck by a needle. They gotta tell you how much of an Indian you are. See, it's the same thing. Once they have a disaster happen here in America soon, that they're gonna use that opportunity to chip your ass. Just like they got the Gadites on the reservations. Let me see, Deuteronomy 28, we'll see, 48. And it says, therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which Yahweh shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in the want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. The Yahweh shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth. And from where the white man came from, it was far from where the Native American Indians were. And it says, and Yahweh shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, which we could prove that America is that eagle, just like they used the eagle in Rome and Greece. It's the Edomites. A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor of the young, or to the young, Shalakia, which is a prophecy of these Edomites. All right, because they did this to all the tribes of Israel.
And Dutch colonialists, and their desire was to weaken them, control them. There were, not all of these were deaths, but that
So she said their goal was to weaken them and to control them. That's what the word government means, to govern, and then mint, meaning the mind. Okay? Let me see. Let me get Psalms real quick. See, and that's why you shouldn't even be partaking in these feasts. You know, even if you have faith, Yahweh shall deliver you or not, you shouldn't be partaking in these. If you're in this truth, you should already know that, you know, the workings of the devil. You know? Let me see. Psalms 83. And it says, Psalms 83:2, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head, and all they that hate thee are these heathens. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and Harganis. And you know, it goes on throughout all the nations. But that's what happened. When they went and picked up the Native American Indians, they had other nations with them to help gather them. In Africa, they used the Hamites. You know, they would use the Ethiopians, the Africans, the Egyptians to help gather the Muslims. They would use the Arabs, you know. They would use all these other nations to gather us and collect us, and they would sell us to the white man, and the white man would sell us back and forth between each other. See, but we all went through this slavery shit under this white man. That's why we're going to get that revenge back. The elect, they get that glory to pay back their enemy.
Disappearance of up to 90% of Native people as parts of a group happened within 30 years of conquest, at every stage of conquest. These people have very little defense. The Spanish used armored horses. They grew very, very large horses for the conquest. They were fully armored from head to toe, which made them like little tanks. The soldier was also armored from head to toe, and they had dogs that they bred for the purpose of killing people. This was a fierce and extremely frightening, aggressive army, not one.
Just like we read in the scriptures, a fierce nation, a nation with a fierce countenance, which they were fierce. They looked like tanks.
That wanted to have diplomatic relations or trade relations, but just wanted total dominance. You can see the means of disappearance. I'm
going to get right to the points, brother, for the sake of time. But, you know, these Edomites, you celebrate your Thanksgiving now, and I pray in the name of Yahweh Hashem, Yahushua, that you choke on your fucking turkey. All right? Especially all you 2/3 coons that celebrate this shit, too. But I'm going to leave you with this script. Remember, O Yahweh, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, which means to destroy it, even to the foundation thereof, to wipe our memory clean of who we were. O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. I'm going to read that again. O daughter of Babylon, is talking about Edom, who art to be destroyed. You're going to be destroyed. You can celebrate all your victories all you want, and it's coming to an end. Every time the clock ticks, that's a tick closer to your destruction. O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served.